are not mutually exclusive. Excellence being a common thread between Talita and the University of Fort Hare. So particularly in my story, you will observe the following: that we all have a past loaded with fears, inadequacies, and oftentimes odds are against us. You will also observe that our past does not necessarily determine our future. However, it informs it. So when we say it informs it as against determining, the importance of that to me is that if you say it determines, it almost means that if you come from this particular background, you are going to end up there. However, when we look at it from a past informing the future perspective, we are saying that we have a choice here. We can determine our future ourselves, so our past will only inform the extent to which we determine our future. You'll also observe that academic excellence per se is a particularly strong term, but excellence is not negotiable. I will also share a perspective about some principles of entrepreneurship and success, and connect it to how specifically it can assist us in curbing the unemployment that we are burdened with, particularly in the Eastern Cape. So my story began many years ago. I recall specifically my entrepreneurial story. My first experience of a business was when I sold lemons. Utatomkhulu wami wayenemithi yelamuni. So wayedla ngokusinika ke masithi 10 lemons to go sell at school. So of the 10 lemons that we sold back then, some of you, this will sound ridiculous, we sold lemons for 1 cent. So if you get given 10 lemons, you know that when you get home, you must have 10 cents to take back to Tatomkhulu. So what used to happen, I would eat my extra lemon that I was given, and sometimes share another one with friends. Now you will realize that my books will not balance because I only have 9 lemons to sell. So what I used to do, I would choose one of the biggest lemons of this, using what works very well with human psychology. The big lemon, I would make that 2 cents. So there will always be takers for that big lemon who were ready to pay 2 cents. Now, the lesson that I learned back then already is that your books must always balance in business. So that's an important lesson to learn. So fast track. I went on and studied medical technology at the Port Elizabeth Technikon, now Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University. So one of the things when I was chatting to Gambete that I would like to share with you here in terms of our past, I spent about 6 weeks at the Technikon, not knowing what I was studying. 6 weeks later, the guy next to me is doing analytical chemistry. The other one is doing engineering. The other one is doing the other. And we started to panic here, thinking, no, hang on. We're talking back in the early 90s here. So we decided this is a balanda. When I went to the dean back then, Dr. Sherwood, and trying to understand how is it that I'm doing medical technology and the guy next to me is doing that and the guy doing the other. So he explained something to me in English and basically telling me that what I was doing was not medical technology, but a bridging course towards medical technology. So as he was speaking, I began to recall that they did say that medical technology class was full by the time I had applied. But I thought they had done me a favor. What is the point? If I can stay in a class for 6 weeks, not understanding, not knowing what I was studying, My English must have been pathetic because it was explained to me. I didn't understand anything. So yes, we all have a past. I want to go back to a story that I know that one of my seniors at Dalwonga, uhlati ulapha Mr. Simpiwe Somgyalo. So there was a gentleman, a physics teacher at Dalwonga, Mr. Habega, who I think that guy was Irish. He used to teach us. I don't know what he taught us because we didn't understand a thing he was saying. Oh, by the way, I failed matric. I had a very nice excuse for failing matric, that I failed biology and physics. Forgive Mr. Habega, he was not my physics teacher back then. One of my reasons was that we did not have teachers from June up to exams for biology and physics. So when I failed, I got very angry because I was not the only one that failed. I was not the only one that did not have teachers, but I failed. So I made a decision that I'm not going to go back to school full time. I am going to pass these two subjects in exactly the same way that other people who were in the same class as me passed their matric. Long story short is that I passed those two subjects and it earned me a university exemption entrance. So never make an excuse out of your failure. Sometimes you are the culprit. Fast forward, I worked in the labs, a few years into the labs. I enjoyed my life there, but I felt the ceiling was too close. I ventured into the pharmaceutical industry as a sales representative for a company called Pharmacare, now Aspen. So when I joined that company, one of the things that I was told, I'm talking about an entrepreneur now. One of the things that I was told when I was joining that company is that we are going to undergo training. The training will take about 6 weeks, and you are expected to get an average of 90% in all your tests and exams in the training. So I was married already at the time. When I looked at this thing, I went to my wife. I said to her, "This is the thing. I need to get 90% in this thing. If I don't get the 90%, I will be fired. That's a deal. Should I sign this contract?" So my wife, Unoklola, who is the wind beneath my wings, she says to me, "Is anyone working for that company?" I said, "Yes." She says to me, "Has anyone passed this test?" I said, "Yes." She says to me, "Sign the contract. You'll be fine." So long story short, I got in. I was a rep for 15 months, got into brand management from there. Fast forward, I worked for a multinational called Pfizer Laboratories, where I was business unit manager for this division. I was nearly fired. I won't tell you why I was fired. I didn't steal. I just told the truth. So when I was nearly fired there, I had an opportunity to join their animal health division. In their animal health division, I was the first Black person who's not a veterinarian to hold a management position there, particularly in the commercial space, which was met with a lot of resistance. There was a stage where I wanted out. I wanted to get out. So long story short, I decided that instead of getting out here, let me bury myself into this job and show these people what I'm made of. Part of that meant that I would be crisscrossing the country, working in the middle of the Free State, in the Western Cape, in KZN, in the Eastern Cape, wherever I could, with commercial farmers. My role included working in Swaziland and the neighboring countries, Botswana, etc. But I noticed something when I was working in that environment, that there was a big difference between what us as the company or the pharmaceutical industry in general are doing for the Black communal farmers. Communal is a political correct way of saying Black farmers, period. And what we were doing for white commercial farmers. There was a big gap. When a commercial farmer speaks, the company would jump. When a communal farmer speaks, one of the things we used to sit in these boardrooms strategizing, what are we going to do for our farmers? So it would just occur right towards the end of the meeting, when the strategy is crafted and finished, that, oh, by the way, there are those people called communal farmers. What can we do for them? All right, let's get someone to translate the material that is done to Xhosa, isiZulu, isiSotho, isiTswana, njalo njalo. Now, obviously, you know that given the environment and the space within which our Black farmers are operating, the language on its own is not going to crack it. So it was during that period when I thought to myself, you know what, there must be a solution to this. We must make a plan. We need to deliver our Black farmers from this thing. So as an entrepreneur, there's always a problem. And very often this problem in your environment is much bigger than who you are. But as an entrepreneur, the magnitude of the problem is not a determinant of whether you are going to get into that space or not. So following a market research, I decided in 2012 that I will launch a company that would be called Talita Pharma. Now, I am and will forever be grateful to communal wool growers in the Eastern Cape. I know that one of the chairpersons of East Cape Communal Wool Growers Association, Mr. Andile Nzenze, is here. Ndala, Ndiabulesi. I will forever be grateful to them because they created an environment that was conducive for Talita to thrive. Because one of the issues that we have as Black people in particular, we do not collaborate, which leads us to what Talita Pharma is all about. So Talita is basically 100% Black-owned pharmaceutical company whose mission is to empower communal and smallholder farmers to farm profitably and sustainably. That is the problem that we are solving as Talita Pharma. So you'll remember that I talked about differences there. When you look at the so-called commercial farmers, they are all about profitability in their business. And so when you look at what communal farmers are doing, trust me, some of these farmers, they own well more than 500 flock of sheep. And it's not only that, they have cattle, they have goats, they have all other animals. So if you want to call these people subsistence farmers, no amount of slaughtering for personal use will finish those animals. Therefore, we do need then to look at our livestock as a business. One of the things that bothers me, program director, is seeing young people beshiya amakhaya abo ezilalini. Oftentimes kukhona nensimi kowabo. Masithi they have a piece of land, a few hundred square meters. Baze eGoli, baye eBhayi, baye eKapa, baye ephinaphi, besithi baye eKapa okanye bayofuna umsebenzi. All that time, bayohlala ematyotyombeni befuna iayikho, beshiya a wealth yomhlaba kowabo umntu that they would have turned into some sort of business. So going back to what I said, that when you are looking at your reason for existence, it must be something that is bigger than you are. So we've always realized as Talita Pharma that when we say we want to empower farmers to farm profitably and sustainably, we're not that smart. So we're not that big. So the vision itself, the mission itself is much bigger than who we are. Hence, the last part of it, that we will achieve this by two ways. One, create an environment of excellence so that whoever comes in touch with us is able to do to the best of their capability and deliver an excellent job there so that we are efficient in the way we do things. But we'll also achieve this through what we call innovative collaborations. These are the collaborations that are not necessarily obvious to anyone. For example, the collaboration that you are seeing this morning between a pharmaceutical company, a poultry organization, and a university, much significant university of that. So that's what we mean by innovative collaborations, to be able to deliver this message to you. So we have a vision, therefore, as Talita Pharma, to become a reference standard of customer intimacy within our market and beyond. What is different about Talita Pharma? We pride ourselves for being sons and daughters of the soil, who not only are flashing about being black, no, it goes beyond that. We have the requisite skills to do what needs doing. So you must be prepared for the journey. You must be prepared for the journey. Basically, one of the things that we have done, we went and registered with Agrisita. So we have an accreditation for livestock production NQF levels 2 and 3, which is accredited by Agrisita. Something that's different that we offer, that we have alluded to earlier, a comprehensive livestock health and production program, which guarantees increase. So what are you offering? Is your product compelling to your target audience, to your customer base that you are selling to? Is your service compelling enough? Is it solving their problem? Because entrepreneurship is not only about me, I and myself. It has to be much bigger than just you. So many people are always scared that I am small, I am in the rural areas, I'm in the villages. Well, we see our size being small as an advantage in that it allows us to be agile, it allows us to be flexible and be responsive to our customer needs. Just briefly, what are our products and services? We are a pharmaceutical company, so we have all sorts of remedies, from worm remedies to vaccines to antibiotics and so on. And I've said that we have an academy that is supporting that, but I want to jump straight to some of the things that make us unique as Talita Pharma. So our livestock health and production program is designed to systematize production. So you ask me how we do this in a communal setting. Among us, we have a farmer, Mr. Xolisa Bomela. Yes, ukhona nomnye uXolisa Bomela that will be speaking later on, who is Mr. Xolisa Bomela's son, Omai. Umaya was one of the speakers in the last webinar where he was sharing his experience with ISRA's synchronization of ewes. So Talita spearheaded that program where we started in Whittlesea. There are 2 commercial farmers there who are stud breeders of merino. We started piloting this program with them a few years ago, and now it's in a full-scale rollout. So one of the ways that we do in preparing ewes and rams for mating includes ISRA synchronization. So, Bandagwetu, there's something here that I think it's very, very important to recognize as an entrepreneur. And this assisted us into getting into the space as Talita. And this is that education, first of all, education is not exclusive. Secondly, technology is not exclusive. So what does that mean? That we cannot sit in little corners feeling sorry for ourselves that white commercial farmers have done this for years on end. They have access to so much resources. Hey, we have full access to education. We have access to technology. So we have absolutely no reason to make excuses for ourselves. Might I add that using technology in farming did not come with white people. Using technology in farming, if you do your history, we're talking academic excellence as well here. When you do your research, you will find that when colonialists found us in Africa, we were using technology already. Ezinto zibizwa ikhonto ezenzelwe zona ukukhusela ukhukhuliseko lomhlaba. Those were not inventions of the West. Those are our things. So as Africans, we must be bold, we must be brave when we're making decisions in what we are doing and taking charge of our destiny. So roughly about our livestock health and production program, the next stage there is preparing ewes for lambing, and which will then lead to the next cycle, which is preparing lambs for weaning. So if you're talking about commercialization, everything that you do as a farmer, and I'm looking at every single farmer who might be here or not here as a commercial entity, it has to be about commercialization. How do you select for the next lambing or mating system? How do you select what you will keep? How do you select what you will sell? How do you select what will produce better wool? How do you select what you then take to the abattoir? That's what our health and production program does in a nutshell. So briefly about our Rural Enterprise Development Academy. So our Rural Enterprise Development Academy is designed to take people with interest in farming, introduce the concepts, the basic concepts of farming as a business, which is done at the academy. And the next level there is done where we are shifting from the theory, introducing some of the practical aspects of what we are doing. But in the end, which makes our program unique, it has an ongoing program that takes place at home, if usemakaya, ufuyes lalini, or on the farm, where you are connected to our customer experience consultants who are going to assist you in driving the program. So this is very important, that wherever you are in a business, you must always have a secret weapon, what I call a secret weapon. And right now, I'm going to recognize one of our secret weapons, Dr. Xolile Ngetu, who is a well-known veterinarian across the Eastern Cape. Seasoned, worked with farmers in the villages. He's been a lecturer, and he's worked in the pharmaceutical industry. So you want to excel in an environment, surround yourself with people that understand what's happening in the space that you are operating in. So today we are talking about youth. We do have a youth accelerating program that we have, which is riding on our Talita Red Academy for skills, particularly entrepreneurial development for the youth. Basically, these youth are using our animal health and production program as a vehicle to learn from. But our idea about our mentorship program is not to keep people dependent on Talita all their life. Out of the people that we have who are our interns currently, and I must recognize the Department of Rural Development and Agrarian Reform for the opportunity that they have afforded us in Njengo Talita Basniga interns, graduate interns that we're really proud of. Great young people who have fantastic attitudes. So out of them, we know that when they finish their program, we will have a pool to choose from within Talita in all the other spheres that we want to get into. But also these people are forming a pool for the animal health industry. We're training for our competitor to get seasoned people. These people will be able to participate in one of our programs we call a micro franchise program. We want them to start their own farming enterprises and run their own farming enterprises. We want them to get into the space of social facilitating, wool advisory services, animal production practitioners, etc., etc. So that's our youth facility acceleration angle. So now that you have seen what Talita does, let's share with you some of the key issues that we have identified, which Ugamete referred to some of them earlier. We have identified that when you look at the contribution of communal farmers to the agricultural economic output in the country, they contribute less than 5%. So you will know that in the Eastern Cape, communal farmers own more than 60% of the cattle population. Why is it that they're only contributing 5% in the formal economy? There is a problem there. So I'm giving you some ideas of where the next businesses will be as entrepreneurs to be or budding entrepreneurs. When you look at the sheep in the communal market, we have some of the most organized farmers, black farmers in South Africa, are communal wool producers in the Eastern Cape. Sheep population in the Eastern Cape is sitting at about 40% of the total sheep population in the whole Eastern Cape. 40% is in the villages, that own these animals. But they only contribute less than 5% to the formal economic output. There is a problem there. There is a problem there. Next to that, our program, Animal Health and Production Program, guarantees increase in yields, meaning increase in lambing and kidding and calving and wool production. So if we're talking about increasing lambing, what we are saying in essence is that we are increasing the number of animals in the pastures. But on the other hand, we know that the pastures are shrinking. How are they shrinking? Andithi necanda manxiwa kwezindawo bekufanele kutyiswa khona imfuyo. In addition to that, ukhukhuliseko lomhlaba, erosion, nalo its contribution is contributing significantly to the shrinking of the grazing pastures. Into ethetha ukuthi, when we say that we will empower farmers to farm profitably and sustainably, we are going to fail if those animals don't have pastures to graze for. So together, and hence I'm bringing it up here, we need to solve the problem of formal markets for those farmers so that we can speed up their production cycle and also create a market to sell those older ewes, those ram lambs that they are producing. That will relieve the stress on the pastures, but also increase the money in their pockets. So remember this, as an entrepreneur, it has to be bigger than you. If it's only about you, you are setting yourself up for failure. We talked earlier about the unemployment rate, which we know that in the Eastern Cape, it's over 40% for youth alone. And over a third of households in the Eastern Cape, they live off social grants. Why is that? Sinomhlaba ongaka. And I know that we need umhlaba. Kandi City ongaka, I'm referring to those people, for example, that I was talking about, who have high numbers of livestock, which when they can get into a land where they can farm off, it relieves stress in the pastures that we are using already as Lalin. So regrettably, the success rate of land reform farms is very low, which we attribute to what we call a lack of agriprenarial or entrepreneurial skills, which leads to what I refer to as beneficiary syndrome. So I contrast beneficiary syndrome to entrepreneurial skill. So what's the difference between these two? So a beneficiary and an entrepreneur, you can give them exactly the same resources. Let's say you set up them on a farm, a beneficiary on the one hand and an entrepreneur on the other hand. One of the things that you will experience in a farm is that things don't always work as you planned. So what beneficiaries are quick at doing, they will run to the officials at Dr. Da, to their extension officers, complaining about what's not working. And one of the things about beneficiaries, they know where the media is to go complain about government, how government is not doing this for me, how government is not doing that for me. Whereas an entrepreneur, on the other hand, faced with exactly the same situation, an entrepreneur is solution oriented. They look for ways of getting out of this situation. Let's say when they got there, there was 100 cattle, ahead of 100 cattle. So an entrepreneur knows to look across the fence. There's a wine commercial farmer there who has been there for generations. Pete knows what's happening around here. An entrepreneur will tap on Pete's shoulder. Hey, Pete, tell me, when is the next auction around this area? So an entrepreneur will go and sell a handful of animals there so that he can make a bit of money to come and do what? No, not buy a 4x4. That's what beneficiaries do. They sell what's on the farm to go buy a 4x4. But entrepreneurs sell in order to reinvest into the business. That's what entrepreneurs do. In a few years' time, entrepreneurs, we have many examples of this. Who knows Ulondi Umgcina Gubeng? He is one such entrepreneur who has so excelled in the space that he is in. We have many of them. Black entrepreneurs who have done that in agriculture. So I guess what I'm emphasizing here, Pambili, is that this entrepreneurial thing is not something that exclusive kubantu abatile. It's something that we can do ourselves. But what does it take to become an entrepreneur? So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to ask yourself this question: how passionate are you about your business? Because if you're not sold on your business yourself, how do you expect the next person to be sold to what you are doing? So how do you get sold in your business? One of the things that I did personally, I sold a Talita dream to my family, to my children, to my wife. We were talking about a Talita dream in my family in 2012, the whole year, all the way up to August 2013 when we went to market. We were talking Talita dream. What is this Talita dream thing? What does this mean to you as an individual? How is it going to change how the family lives? The reason for this is that there are sacrifices that are going to be made. An entrepreneur must be able to sacrifice. So the next question that you must ask yourself, do you have a compelling product or service? So what is a compelling product or service? What problem is it solving in your community? What problem is it solving within your family? Is someone prepared to buy and pay for their product or service? So the next one is called tenacity and resilience. You need both. So as an entrepreneur, kufuneka ubelishika. Now, anditi ubelikhuni. You see, because it's going to be tough. You are going to fail many times. Your knees are going to be bruised. You are going to be disappointed by the people that you trust and you believed in most. So you must be able, resilience talks to the bouncing back. You must be able to bounce back. Execution intelligence, and we were talking earlier on here about academic excellence. So that's where this academic excellence thing comes in. How well have you crafted your plan, your strategy to execute the idea that you have developed. So now you're gonna think, do I need to have all of these things before I start? I mentioned earlier on that you must have a vision, a dream. What exactly, what does good look like to you? What is this business going to do for you? A mission and a purpose. Where are you going? What is the reason for your existence? And that is why I was saying, if your purpose is much bigger than who you are, iza kukuncedisa kakhulu loo nto when your knees are bruised, when you're falling along the road, when you're getting those rejections, because it's going to pull, it's going to attract you towards it. You cannot give up. Values and culture. This is absolutely important. That there is a saying that if you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. So as an entrepreneur, you have to have a resolve. There's a set of behaviors that you need to live by, which assists you in making decisions. You are able to tell between what you are prepared to do and what you are not prepared to do, because you are going to be pushed. But I'm going to wait for this one. Start. I have seen people, they go to the CIPC and register companies. They have a PTY Limited there, or it's only PTY Limited now. And they walk around thinking that they have businesses. No, you don't have a business. You don't have a business. On the other hand, you have people who are busy doing something. They're doing business plans, killing them to the kilt. They want to cross all T's and dot all I's because they want their business plan to be perfect. Now, you're going to get nowhere with your perfect business plan. What will get you somewhere? Start. Get started. It's what I call blood in your hands. The only way that we can tell that you are a hunter is when you have killed. You must have blood in your hands. So what evidence do you have that you can be convicted that you are a business person, that you are an entrepreneur, that you have a business? The only evidence that you can produce is when you have not only invoiced, but somebody has bought from you. It doesn't matter how go to kangakanani, but get blood in your hands. Only when you have started, you have that evidence that you can convince someone to be your mentor. Get a mentor. What is a mentor? A mentor is not a person who is going to change your diapers and wipe your tears when you fall. No, that's not a mentor. A mentor is a sounding board, a person that you sit down with and say, these are my plans, this is my thinking, this is where I am at in my business. Is this the right course of actions? So one of my greatest cheerleaders, my mentor, life mentor, is my brother, Umvuyisi Mbochelwa, who is probably in the platform as well. He's mentored me all my life. One of the greatest things that I appreciate about Ubura, Kukuti, I hated it in the beginning. I would come to him with many questions. He listens. Good mentors listen. He listens. But what I hated about him, he will never tell me what to do. But in time, I had this excitement after speaking to him, after he has asked me a few questions. I would always walk away with this excitement that I've got all answers to my questions, which brings me to something that's very, very important in closing, ladies and gentlemen, that as entrepreneurs, we always highlight the issue of money as our main problem, that we need money, investment. Well, money is not a solution to all problems. Sometimes the solution for your problems comes from within. And that is why you need that tenacity, nokubalushika, as entrepreneurs. That is why I said earlier on, you need to sell your dream even to your family, because sacrifices are going to be made. Ladies and gentlemen, I am convinced that with the youth that we have in South Africa, we have our future in our hands. We can achieve great things when we hold hands. And with such leaders, as I said earlier on, like Abo Put Andi Lenzenze, Abondala, tapping into the organizations that in the last webinar were introduced to you, there are many people around us that can guide us in this cold journey of entrepreneurship. So I take this opportunity to wish you all everything of the best, and I look forward to the questions at the end of this. Thank you, Faku, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, yes. A round of applause. Thanks, boy. Just to remind the house, we've got the reaction button up there. If you find something that inspires you, anything that you love, you can make use of it. Thanks, Pujwa, a lot. You've said a lot, and I ran out of. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm out of words. Yeah, as Usino Paya agrees with me, that these were very. This was very insightful, Pujwa. Now we are going to allow questions, answers, comments from the house. We are going to look at the people who have raised their hands. We will note them and we will give them a platform. Our technical team will do the honors to unmute all those who have something to share. Putwacha, enkosi kakhulu futhi siyabulela. If anyone from the house has a question, a comment, or wants to share an idea, the platform is yours. By raising your hand, we will note you and give you a platform. Now it's time for the questions and answers. Putwacha, I hope you are ready.
Ndire.
I am trying to note all those with their hands up. Yes, Puti Mfazwe, Siagnota, and then Utabisa Depa, Signotile, Mfazwe, the platform is yours.
Enkosi kakhulu umhlala phambili. Ndiqale ndisibulisele kuwo wonke umuntu olapha ngaphakathi. Mhlekazi, eyona nto bendifuna uyisabela about i-mentorship. Now, i-mentorship, I understand bana yes into ebaluleke kakhulu. However, kuba ke la challenge bana thina singabantu abatsha sihlala emaphandleni kunye nasezilalini. Kuba nzima into yokuba sikwazi uyi-accessa i-platform apho ungayifumana i-mentor e-willing okanye i-mentor ezabe i-understanda le meko uthina sisuka kuyo apha ezilalini. So i-question yami yokubana ingabe uyayazi na i-platform esingakwazi uyi-accessa ezo mentorship programs for abantu abasemaphandleni njengam? Enkosi.
Okay, Depa, Putwacha, I hope you can take these two questions and respond later.
Thank you very much. I greet everybody. This is Tabisam Depa talking. I don't know if this is the suitable time because I'm not interested to ask question, but to comment. Am I allowed?
Yes, go ahead. Thanks.
Okay. I just want to voice out and take this opportunity to thank everybody who has initially organized this program. It is informative and fruitful and very encouraging. Strangely, I've been thinking of most of the concepts that have been touched here. I am from Somo village, and I have been, it's been coming to my mind repeatedly that there is a land that belongs to my parents, to my late parents, and I've been thinking of starting a commercial farming. And now this program or this webinar presentation, it really helps and eye-opening and make it easy to get a courage to start with this. I don't have skills in this sector, but listening to Put Ayanda, it really make it easy to push on and make and implement whatever that is started as an idea to me. I'm only having a exposure on a just an ordinary subsistence farming. So now, coming back to the question of a speaker before me asking about mentors, which I'm waiting for answers, because I'm really, really interested to start this. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thanks. I hope you can bear with us, Putjoaga. We have Unzaenze and Usoka, and then you will respond if that is okay with you.
I'm comfortable, Father.
Okay, thanks, Putjoaga. Nzenze, followed by Soka. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Greetings to all. Abantu bokondlisizwe. Masibulele kuqala kule presentation inhle imnandi kangaka i-progressive ngolu hlobo. Ekubonakalayo into yokuba neneni ekugqibeleni ilizwe lakwethu lingabuyela nesidima kubantu balo. I-question endinayo ku-Mr. Mbotshelwa yokubana i-education system yethu ibe nazo i-changes ebenazo. How ke ngoku into yokubana singakhe sithi rejuvenate pha esikolweni at an early age, so that umntana akhule yazi into yokubana lena intshulube kubizwa ngoba yi-milk tapeworm. This is the brown stomach worm, and this is one just bakhule benayo loo nto nje from the very beginning. And whether we can, it can be piloted at any stage, engaging the Department of Education at primary level, so that bathi bekhula, more especially in the communal space, as you are championing that, and bazoba clear ngakumbi nangakumbi, just to put them in. Zoom in, and you have talked about the issue of the better understanding of teaching our children that awuthengisa igusha mayibe ngumntwana oyibalayo imali ayidlulisele kumamakhe until iyofika to the hands zakho wena tata. At the same time kuvela into enhle ekugqibeleni. Zezinto ke ngondirhalela into yobana how can touch up issues ezinjalo to promote the issue and ukuyenza i-agriculture ibe smart kangangoko. Thank you, Chair.
Hey, thanks, Mr. Nzenze. Yeah, that was very insightful. Soka.
Mandithi mnqanga nentsiba zayo. Elokuqala lam ndingusive wakwaSoga umbamba phaa kulaa dolophu inkulu kakhulu isuka umpresidenti wethu iTsom lalali kuthiwa kusemkhwini. Ndingumfana ke osaqhothozayo apha ekulimeni kuba ke mntakambotshelwe uyajika apha eFort ndisho ujika entsimini yasekhaya. Noko ithi laa ntsimi yizela xa udlula kuyo. Okulandelayo noko ndikweli cala eyona nto ndiyithanda kakhulu yigusha. Mna okwam andazi noba wena Mayarha kuba ingakwazeka na ukwenzeka le nto, because mna ndiyabawela sibe nazo iiplatform ezinje, more especially xa sithe thina sanele nyweba inkulu kangaka yokokuba kube nendedeba nentelentele ephume izandla kangaka yokondla izizwe neentlanga. Sithi singaba phaa umgquba singabi nazo ezi platforms. Ndibulela kakhulu ke mna ke kuThalita because kulo nyaka uphelileyo Jwarha ndikhe ndamema phaa amatyendyana, khona amatyendyana phaa owathumayo oxhamela noomaduna ndisenza i-information day ndizama uqoqosha amafama apha kulaa lali yam ukuba sidibane. So umnqweno wam ke owesibini ke Jwarha uthethe apha nge-selection xa ufuna ulibone eli thokazi ukuba noko elitakane lingalihle for ukuba ulifuye. Enye ke ngoku naxa siyofuna inkunzi kuba ndinayo into ethi wena Jwarha kungenzeka okokuba sinikwe elinye icala lesandla njengoba sibane siphanca siyokhangela inkunzi kwezi ndawo. Ibingaske ke into ezawusixhobisa ethi hayi man Thangana, xa ujonga inkunzi igusha ujonga le nto nale nto nale nto, noboya mabube nje bungaqini uthambe uthini. Neendawo mhlawumbi sowukhe wahamba kuzo mntakambotshelwa opha uthi mfama umfayitini ongapha eDiyara ndinamadoda manapha abaweluza kuwe azothenga inkunzi zegusha. Amanye ke bakhona ke into zontuthela phana kulaa dolophu inkulu yase-Eastern Cape kuthiwa yiTsom akwaziyo uba asincedise uba sifumana amathoka ikoko kum wena Jwarha namayeza mani ingaske afumaneke wayafumaneka phaa koMthiza. Ibingaske le nto ye-mentorship ibe close kakhulu apha emafameni kuba nyhani amatakane ayafa phana, abantu abayazi ukuba mabathini, mabaqale phi the vaccination plan. And then into yokuba into esihluphayo apha eTsomo ilela khalane kuthiwa yindlanga, and then singalinceda kanjani, uThalita uzasincedisa kanjani ukuba soyise lo mqobo. Mandibulele Mayarha, enkosi.
Tata Jwarha usekhona?
Ndikhona Nyawuza, bendicinga uzandikhulula fa.
Okay ndiyicela Tata Mayarha mani ngoku inconvenience apha mna sesithatha lo wokugqibela and then ube so responda ke ngoku ndiyakuthembisa siphinde sithathe omnye umntu sizawuthatha nje lona. Inkosi. OurNews online, the platform is yours.
Lebuka Mutlabane from OurNews online. Okokuqala mandibulele for such i-information engako siphe yona kutata Ayanda. Bengicinga into yobana sizo-broadcaster nje kuphela as Our News, but as a young person okwi-business naye it gave me izinto ezininzi. But also I want to touch okakhulu kulo mcimbi we-mentorship. Ubusinikile ke tata i-ideas into yoba mhlawumbi ezinye zezi problems lapha kwi-society yethu zisinika ezinye business opportunities. Ndicinga into yoba I'm not sure really if there is a platform ekhoyo that connects businesses, young businesses, especially young black businesses, to mentorship programs. Umhlawumbi, I'm thinking of a platform just to share an idea as well. A platform where you can go, you log in, uchekishe koso space ukuso, sikwi media space, uchekishe someone that you can connect with, onokwazi ukukunika mentorship. If asiki space esinjalo, I think umuntu okhoyo apho mameleyo as well, that is something that can be done as an idea. I know myself, I would pay for a premium umhlambi ethile ngenyanga just to have access to a program enjalo, as a mentorship program enjalo. Benifuna nje ukudlula. And lastly, the session as well is being broadcasted live ku Our News, both on Facebook and also on YouTube. Enkosi.
Okay, Vuyokazi notile, but can we just give Utati Mayaga a chance to respond to the questions, and then we will get back to you. Utati Mayaga, over to you, sir.
Enkosi Faku manibulele. Ndizawuqala pha kuZuko umcimbi we-mentorship, and abantu touched on lo mcimbi we-mentorship. Into ke ebalulekileyo kakhulu le. Now isizathu sokuba xa bendithetha ngemento ndikhankanye wami ngenxa yokuba ndifuna icace le nto bantu bakuthi xa kuthethwa ngemento kuthi ligama elisitheleyo, sicinga ukuba umzekelo funeka uyofumana umuntu ofunde waphuma izandla. Ukanti imento ngesixhosa ke sayikhumbula kakuhle le nto, ingakumbi abantu asekhe badlula ehlathini, likhankatha imento. Umuntu onolwazi ngale ndlela ofuna ukuyihamba, okuguidayo along the way. Now, when it comes to business, it becomes even broader than that, to the extent that imento yakho, you will not have one mentor. You will have, for example, now I look at mentorship from a person who has extensive experience in the pharmaceutical background, because that's my specialization. And then I look for a mentor with space. So masibona mentor. Imento bubudlelwane onabo nomuntu masithi oprogressive, ozawumane uncokola naye xa nithetha ngendlela ekusaphambili kule nto ufuna ukuyenza. So nditsibe ndizokonektha lo mcimbi we-mentor to what uLebo was saying there. So when you look at the platform wena Lebu, the Talented Red Academy is gearing up to create such a platform. Already we have our customer experience consultants. Now note this. Thina asinazo i-rep. Isizathu soba singabi nazo rep, i-rep umsebenzi wayo kukuthengisa amayeza. Nantoni nonengxaki nayo ukunika iyeza. Nantoni nonengxaki nayo ukunika iyeza. Thina, we have customer experience consultants so that they can play a limited mentorship role in terms of livestock health and production. So when you look at umcimbi we-mentorship, njengoba bendichilo apha, kunamafama afana nomaya uxolisa Bomela njengamntu osele yenzile yena already lento ye-synchronization une-experience. You speak to abantu abanjeya. Urhadebe pha eTsomo lo ubuke wamkhankanya Mthangana. Ngenye yamadoda lawo who can assist you in terms of mentorship direction ufuna ukuya kuyo untuthela. So ngamanye amaxesha ujonga umfama omkhulu kule ngingqi yakho uthi tata ndicela mani ukuhlala nawe mhlawumbi nenze appointment noba once a month nihlale phansi nijonge iprogram ukuthi ithini lento yethu siyaphi. So imentor ke is much broader than le ndawo thina esilimita kuyo. Njengoba nisitsho, we are gearing up, creating a platform of a pool of mentors that will be there, njengoTalit. But remember, one of our secrets, Tina njengoTalit, we work very closely with state veterinarians, extension officers, animal health technicians, because siyazazi ba asingomoya oyingcwele, asikho kuyo yonke indawo. Now, lena yona ndiyilahlela nje. One of the secrets when you are in business, understand this. You don't have answers to all questions. So ngamanye amaxesha you do need to defer certain questions okanye uzireferishe kwabanye abantu. Mandisondele ke ngoku kula mbuzo nala comment katata uNdala. Andizusibiza ke esisiqala ngo MS isiduko sakho tata uNzenze. Ndiyayihlonipha le platform. Phofu ndihlonipha wena ngaphezu kwayo. So uthethe phaya nge-primary school ukuthi si-incorporate njani le mfundiso at primary school level. Ngomnye wemibuzo lowo endiza kudifera, fortunately here le platform is a university le university ke by virtue of being university they are key opinion leaders there banayo i-influence kwinto ebizwa i-curriculum development kwaye nani njengabahlali ingakumbi umbutho omkhulu njengo-Eastern Cape Communal Wool Growers Association unayo amandla uyavakala xa uthetha to the policy developers ukuthi ngumcimbi lona odinga ukuconsiderishwa xa sithetha ngokudevelopa i-local economy, because sithemos, he who owns knowledge owns the future. Ningandibethi ke manina uhi lona apha awunanto kwenza ngokuthi uyindoda okanye ungumfazi. It's just a saying. Now ndiye pha kudadewethu uThabisa intombi yasemajwarheni leya umfazi wakafako. Ndiyacinga ba ndiwutashile lo mcimbi we-mentor enye ye-areas ebenexhala lazo. Ndabuya ndatatsha omnye umcimbi wokuba abantu babenexhala ukuba unale idea akadenze into ngayo. All I'm going to say ukuthi start, do something. If uthi kum unomhlaba uthi angaqali nge-veg ulimi veg pha emhlabeni so that you have blood in your hands. Utheni ungaqali ifawuka binazo ngokuthenga a handful of igusha. We often get calls in njengoTalita because abantu babona lento we empower farmers and basifonele bathi Talita ndifuna uthenga igusha ndingenza njani. You see, xa sithetha nge-animal health and production thina sesikhuthaza ukuthi mabothenga igusha kuqala, because enye yezinto apha and mentors think like this as well. Don't waste your mentor's time. Don't waste your mentor's time. Do something. Wawugqiba uthi ndincedise kule. Ungathi ndisacinga ukuyenza. Ndenze kanga, ndicinge apha, ndifuna ukuya pha. Ngubana neno Ndiyacima ndikhathule Fako, ndiyacima ndikhathule kakhulu.
Sibari, I think I am qualified to call you Sibari.
I could in.
Oh, okay. Thanks very much, Tat Mazalin. We just have a surprise for you in the absence of questions or hands from attendees. We highly appreciate participation from attendees zethu. Butwaka andiyazi uba intoni le isetsomo nokulima. If ikhona into a recipe that you have, you may kindly share with us okanye nisikele amanxiwa kule tsomo nathi siza kudirector ngeentsimi zakuthi uba xa ujika phaya hayi ungabi naxhala. Butwaka, there is a surprise that the technical team is working on it. Please try to bear with us. And also, I've got some few things to say to you. Calendar start. I think umboyi ngapha beke wayizama ku-Facebook wakhe uyicacisa le nto intobana you should start. Singabe sithetha uthi ibhizinesi isesemlonyeni okanye isesephepheni. Ayikabiyo. I think I captured that from status ka Mboyi phaya, Mr. Mhlobo. He shared that. Yes. And also thanks to abantu abasebenzisa i-chat yethu. We are seeing a contribution yenu. Thanks very much. Now, Butwaka, we just need your advices here. Kuthiwa apha cebisa nanku umfama efuna ubomi Butwaka. In short, we would just want to get your view on the key principles and values of a young farmer, just to put things into context. If a young entrepreneur, what should he or she possess in venturing into entrepreneurship?
All right. No, ngumbuzo omhle kakhulu lo. Uyazi ikhona intetho ethi you can take a horse to the river to drink, but if it's not thirsty, it is not going to drink. So ithethe ukuthi kufuneka uyinqanelwe lento. You must be hungry for success. In what area? I don't care what area. So because xa uyinqanelwe, xa uyifuna self, you will do what it takes. Kutheni in city you will do what it takes, because whatever you try, I can guarantee you one thing: you will get resistance. Xa ungayinqanelwanga ngokwaneleyo, awuzuba ushica enough. You will not have the resilience it takes to do it. So that's what you need as an entrepreneur. You need a dream, uyinqanelwe kakhulu, and you need to be resilient. In between, take action. Nothing happens when nothing happens.
Oh, okay, Butwaka, sizawudlula. Nangomunye umfama Butwaka, we had a conversation with farmers yesterday, and then these are the things they had to say, that they have tried venturing into farming business for the past 3 years, but it has not been profitable as per their anticipations. Now, Butwaka, these people are even at the edge of quitting. as an experienced entrepreneur, what advice would you give these farmers?
This is an interesting thing, Fagu. In all the difficulties that I have come across in my business, quitting has never been an option.
Yeah.
But it does occur kwabanye abantu ngamanye amaxesha lento ukuthi it's so tough you are considering quitting. So what you need to do there is to speak to someone specifically, because you may find that you are doing the same thing ekubeke kule ndawo ukuyo, hoping to get different results. Iza frustrator ke loo nto. So you need a perspective. Ikhona le nto that you need to unlock in your business. Or ngamanye amaxesha, it does happen with entrepreneurs that you are your own problem. So how do you deal with a situation where you are a problem yourself? How do you identify that? Yeah, yazi bantu bakuthi kunentetho ekudala yathethwa kuthiwa if ufuna ukufihla ubutyebi emntwini omnyama bufihle encwadini. So enye yezinto ke that I do personally, ndiyazincanca incwadi. No, ndiyazincanca incwadi. I read a lot of books. So what that does, it gives you a pool information and expertise to draw from. Ikhona xa ndigqibelisa apha intetho ethi you become like the 6 people you spend most time with. So you can't inundate yourself in an environment yabantu abahlala be complain about this, that, and the other. Uthink ukuthi wena you will be different. So how do you get yourself into a company of progressive people? Buy a book, read, so that uzi sanitize from all the complaints that we all get all around us. So ikhona, by the way, kulombuzo walomntu ofuna uquit, incwadi ebhalwe ngu-Alon Reyes ithi What to Do When You Want to Quit. I would suggest that get that book.
Yes, thanks, Putwaga. I see that you're a very good friend of these guys at the back of you. Very intimidating, very intimidating. I was intimidated.
Let me give you more perspective.
Okay, yeah. Yo. Yes, yeah. yes. Thanks, Putwaga. Now, ngomnye sithi the initial stages of any business sometimes or like oftentimes are always not an easy task to do. So we want your own experience here on what kept you going during that phase, because we believe that you have been in that phase, Putmazalin. Just a few, in short, Putwaga.
So yes, this is a secret, ne? The people around you, your immediate family, because bona they understand you better than anyone out there. Create an environment closer to yourself, because you are going to need a lot of motivation, encouragement, because there is no question about this. It is going to be very tough. So my own experience, I'm sitting with my wife, we're talking about, we can't pay fees, we have not paid the bond, the cars are not paid, and we're talking about where to from here. And she says to me, you know what? I will forever be grateful for the day you resigned from your job. No, I don't get this. But what do you mean? My job was paying me pretty well. We are affording everything. Now we can't afford anything. You know what she said to me? She said to me, Yes, I hear that. But you are a much better person now than you were when you were employed. So ngamanye amaxesha ke you think you are not growing. Ikhona laa nto ibizwa a Chinese bamboo tree. Kanti njengoba ungakuboni ukukhula on the surface, the root itself is growing, encourage apha emhlabeni ukwenzela uba one day when you start growing, you are much stronger than you are now. So if it was not for my wife to tell me that I'm a much better person at that point in time, I think I would have considered quitting. Kodwa xa uthe wasurrounda ngabantu abakwaziyo ukukusupporta, it does make an absolute difference in what you are doing.
Okay, thanks, Putjwaka. And now I'm considering Utata now. This is the last one now. Your inspiration, is it because of your background or is just a zeal, to help our farmers? This thing of a zeal, now it makes me think about the passion that you talked about. Yeah, she was also fully, but still it would not drink if it does not want to. Now, I got a perspective from one person who said, no, just move. The passion will find you on the way. And then the other one said, no, let the passion choose you. So I think that's this last question now. Please include that zeal for our farmers. Are they also willing, you see, to venture into this business after you've covered this question? I'm not sure whether I make sense.
No, you do, Fago. You do. Yazi abantu abandaziyo ne bayayazi ukuthi I am a sucker for discipline. Esinye isizathu ezibangela ukuthi singabikho successful in our pursuit, it doesn't matter what it is lack of discipline. Now, discipline is the little voice kuwe exelelayo i-right i-wrong. But not only that, the courage to stick with what you know to be right. Ndingumntu othandayo ukujima. Ngoku kusebusika, I set an alarm ukuthi mayindivuse nge-4:20 ukwenzela uba ndiye ejimini. Amanye amaxesha andifuni ukuya. You know what I do? When that alarm goes off, whether ndiyafuna okanye andifuni, I get out of bed. This thing has nothing to do with love. We romanticize discipline too much. This thing, it does not have to be nice. It'll be nice along the way. So discipline is about a decision. You are not doing this action because it is a nice thing to do. You are doing this because it's the best thing to do. And I'm saying this knowing well you can get an farmer up. Get out in the early hours of the morning. Okanye staying up, monitoring inkomo yakho ezalayo, estruglishayo. It's not a nice thing. The nice thing to do is to go back to bed, uyolala pha. But those that stay up at night to watch inkomo zabo zizala, igusha zabo zizala, ngaba ufika sisithi thina banenyoka. Bafanele ke ukutsho because andithi babonela light ibisebuhlanti kwam in the middle of the night ngelo xesha mhlawumbi ebeyochama okanye whatever elele yena. So inyoka ke le kuthethwa ngayo apha i-discipline. This thing begins and falls with discipline. So the last question is talking about my inspiration, whether it is my background or zeal. I talked about passion as an entrepreneur. Well, what I'm doing right now is what I love to do the most. So abantu abaninzi babona ikhampani yethu inento kwenza nemfuyo namayeza nayo yonke loo nto. But my greatest passion is in making a difference kulama farmer sisebenza nawo singutalitha. It is making a difference to the young people that are working with us. That's my greatest passion. So that's where my zeal comes from. That's what keeps me going. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tati Joacha kakhulu. We'll just proudly move to a chat yethu. Sisnasi people with her nice voice. He's just going to take the highlights from each chat room yethu. We don't want to to seem like we are not taking into appreciation the fact that people are using the chat. Over to you, Nasi, just to give us the highlights from the chat.
Okay. There's a comment from Kekezwa Sino. Wow, wisdom right there. Thanks, Tata. Then there's another one from Babala Finiza. Wow, thank you. Wangama Chopiso, thank you, Joacha. Very mouthful words of wisdom. Keep the light burning. Bebe Dombozugo, thank you for fruitful and encouraging information. From Shlobo Mbane, thank you, Joacha. Awibeke Yacaca. From Dr. Xoli Lengetu, the summary of the Talita summer journey is that of the road not taken, the reaction of the veterinary pharmaceutical industry was unprecedented. Largely, the bigger and established multinational expected spectacular failure. In earnest, ladies and gentlemen, I can't really see some of the words. In the earnest, ladies and gentlemen, there was that I can't really see from my side. Please bear with me, people. Okay.
All right, sorry about that, colleagues. I think the comment from Dr. Ametu was saying the summary of the Talita Farmer journey is that of the road not taken. The reaction of the veterinary pharmaceutical industry was unprecedented. Largely, the bigger and established multinational expected spectacular failure. In ENS, ladies and gentlemen, in the entrepreneurship expect hurdles along the road. In this livestock arena, there is a lot that still has to be done to change the fortunes of black farming. Phambili Talita. Then there is another comment from Asa DK. What's it do? Uti molo Joacha, which is in capital letter. Dingumam Joacha nam from Edujo. Just want to check your mentoring program. Is it free or what? If money kanjani? That's the question. Then ikhona enye comment esuka kukhawulezile nohuka. Ithi yona, at this time in our lifetimes where the life of a farmer and imfuyo yakhe are in danger. I thank you, Joacha, for this presentation. This COVID has somehow reduced the care of our livestock, mostly on smallholders. And with this presentation has inspired me. Enkosi. Ati Uchituke Liberty, I love the way you explain the discipline part, sir. Nakumthana naye uthi mhle umsebenzi wakho tata, qhubeka enkosi. Okay, Faku.
Okay, thanks a lot from our chat room friends. Putjwaga, do you have anything to say in response?
There's no way about
Oh. Engoswako. No, mandilibulele elithuba, mandibulele Gamede ngokucacisa lamyalezo kaNcibane. Siyabulela kakhulu noJawolo ngalamyalezo. And ndifuna ukubulela umzi kaThalita ngobubanzi because mna nomhlobo wam is my wife. We know that ngesingekho kule ndawo sikuyo namhlanje, if it was not for you, Nokhala, Msiana, Mgcina, Myalo, pha eQonce, if I ndikhankanya nje but few. Ndidlule kulaa mcimbi kaMamJwarha edutywa about our mentorship program. Our mentorship program is in 2 phases, MamJwarha. One, our customer experience consultants, dibakhankanyile apha, they do their ongoing mentorship. Banayo support team yabo. They do that. That one is free. You know the incredible thing about uThalita, zonke ingcebiso nayo yonke lento siyenzayo for nina, it's absolutely free. Usibhatala nje ngokuthi xa ufika pha evenkileni ukhethe eli likaThalita, yes. Ungamameli aba bantu evenkileni abakuxelelayo bathatha elinye. Nansi indlela osibhatala ngayo. So the second part of our mentorship program, which is spearheaded by Ubura, Mr. Mvuyisi Mbochelwa, who is operations executive for the Thalita Red Academy. That one is in development. The reason he is driving that aspect of it, Kukuti, he is an educationalist. He's used to curriculum development, how education is executed. So when that program is ready to launch, izawuba nayo i-element ebhatalelwayo, ibe nayo i-element e-free, kuba ngamaxesha onke singuThalita. We know where we come from. Sifuna ukuthi sihlangane nani halfway. So ngalo mazwi ke manibulele kwakhona kuwe ndiyabulela kakhulu Fako.
Enkosi Siba, sorry, ngiphathe ndathi Siba. Enkosi
Kanje Fako, umsebenzi wenzile kakhulu kakhulu, so ndiyakupromote.
Enkosi kakhulu nangepromotion. Putjwaga, continue with the good work. From this initiative, I'm sure akukho kwayeza elingabhalwa ngaThalita esizawulisebenzisa usukela namhlanje. Sonke sifika sithi sifuna elakwaThalita. Enkosi kakhulu Putjwaga, uqhubeke nomsebenzi omhle. Umhlobo wakho apho naye nami zokhangela wami, umhlobo wakho apho aqhubeke naye exhasa. Enkosi kakhulu ke Putjwaga. Now we are going to move with our program. Besine panel discussion. I hope our panel is ready because time is not on our side really, and we are mindful that abantu are connecting from indawo that are very uncomfortable because of connectivity. We are very mindful of that, and we really appreciate that. Please bear with us. We are about to wrap up. Our panel discussion, Enoma Moseti, Sibe Abereti, Mam Uchikeka, Mr. Pomela, Zutumane, Mboyi. I hope you're ready. Ngale order that I've called your names. Zawambangayo, Mamuseti, are you there? Kaba mama nje, the platform is yours.
Okay. Manthathe lithuba nami ndibulise, mandiqale ndibulele kakhulu ngale opportunity esinayo as youth yase South Africa, yase Eastern Cape. Dinguzi khona sinekhaya sethi Ndihlala eMdantsane, ndina 30 years. Ndiyi-founder ke, in fact, me and my are a founder, also a directors zika-Sinekhaya Contractors Pty Ltd, and also sizizona farmers there, God's Kingdom Bible Church. So we started poultry last year, 2020, about July, August. In fact, we were doing a driving school, but sayeka due to COVID, and then we started on poultry. Now, I just want to go through which challenges esisanazo ngokuqala kwethu poultry. Eyokuqala was a lack of knowledge. Siqale basically with nothing about poultry. Sizazi ukuthi izinkukhu ziyathengiswa namaqanda, and that was it. So we started with poultry. Saqhubekeka nayo. Siqale with broilers eziyi-50, layers eziyi-15. So challenges esesanazo. In fact, what we did while we were going through the process yoqala, we wasted a lot of feed, not knowing ukuthi siyayi-waste because besivele siziphi inkukhu zethu, we don't measure, sigalela nakwizitya ezinjani, kwi-feeders ezinjani, and ufumaniseke ubana iinkukhu ziyayi-waste ifeed lena siyigalela yona. So izitya zethu zaziyi-waste ifeed kakhulu. I-health yeenkukhu zethu sasingayihoyanga. So sasithi xa siyozijonga singafuma siyaliva ivumba, but ayikho into ethi masikline sizawuaffecta iinkukhu zethu. So sasingahoyanga kakhulu because of a lack of knowledge, as I've mentioned. And also sasingaziniki ne-vaccines. We did not take proper care, mandiyibeke lo hlobo, of iinkukhu zethu. Hygiene was not implemented. We ignored, even if inkukhu they show symptoms xa zigulayo, uyaybo thina sithi hayi ezinkukhu ziyarhona. We ignore, asazi bakwenzeka ntoni na, and later on siyibona inkukhu ifile, still akho nendawo esinobuza kuyo uba kwenzeka ntoni, siyaqhubekeka qha nemfuyo yethu. Up until sava nge-in-laws zethu ukuthi no, there is a platform from each district. Eastern Cape Farmers Poultry Association unazo groups ko-WhatsApp for i-districts nganye apha Eastern Cape. So sangena ke kula district yalapha e-BCM, because silapha eMdantsane, sangena khona. At least sava ukuthi zikhona ne-basic trainings that we can go to. Sava about a company yakwaVegado that provides basic training about poultry. Okay, my husband attended that poultry, the training. Ubuya kwakhe wathi, yo, we've wasted a lot of money. And into esayenzayo is that kuba sasine i-roosters ezininzi, ongqoqo, black australorp zininzi, we slaughtered them, not knowing ukuthi i-treasure yethu ipha kuzo. We slaughtered black australorp, inkunzi, also nengqoqo nezinye. After the training, my husband said we need to get them. Ngoku sizawuzifumana phi? Sabe sizithengise ngoma-60 rand ngephofu. Then i-challenge was that we had to buy inkunzi ke ngoku ephilayo ngoma-150, 160, which is lost ke ngoku apha kuthi. So saqhubekeka ke nakwi-groups zika-Facebook ukubane kuvezwa abantu bapost izinto ko-WhatsApp, fumaniseke ubana even kwa o-chairperson bethu bayakwazi u-explaina if khona into oyibuzayo mhlawumbi ku-WhatsApp, chairperson okanye nabanye members, they would go out explain bachaza ukuthi no, don't do this, you must do these things like that. So yasinceda kakhulu ke into ka WhatsApp. Nathi ngoku as basikhula, we are able to encourage abanye abantu. For example, just last week sibona omnye umfama efotile xa siba ubuka amantshontsho akhe from i-incubator, and then uyawabuka okanye waphungula what's going on. So I was able to say, farmer, you don't open your incubator while amaqanda are still hatching. I suffocate. And I also learned that from Ivegado. So a lack of knowledge in better as abantu abacha. We tend to think that we know all, but we know nothing. Sibetakale, hence kube kwabantu abafuna ukukhwitha. So yanjalo ke into yethu. And then qhubekekeni kwethu ke saspenda more money, sathenga ke ngoku inkukhu indigenous. Yazi challenges zethu ke ezo, including space ne-environment, because kuba siselokishini i-environment kuba khona iimpuku ezikwazi ukutya iinkukhu ezi zakho. Yahamba ke yanjalo. So as nditshilo ubana siqale nge-broilers eziyi-50 ne-layers eziyi-15. Today we are doing 100 broilers and 100 layers. And we are also doing in an incubator in a capacity of 264. Ifaka I 264. We also have a partnership with omnye umfama on a capacity of 14,000, where we want to produce now. We want to produce and amantshontsho a-day old with the help of uTalita sikwazi vaccinator directly from the incubator. So silapho ke into ye-passion ezinye izinto izaba ngathi sithetha into eyi-one ne, because indeed i-business ifana nomntana. Uyayibona, you need to love and take care of your business. So xa ndivuka ke mna ke kusasa, before I even eat, I go and check on my babies. Ba zilele kakuhle, how are they doing? Right na? Ndizinike ukutya, amanzi, ndiziyeke zidlale, zonwabe phandle, all those things. Ne? And then xa ndizibona ukuthi zi-happy, I then help myself ke ngoku. Nditye nam, things like that. Before I go to bed, I make it a point ukuthi I check on them again. Ingaba zise-safe na? Ingaba zilele kakuhle na? Yonke loo nto leyo. So nyani i-business, it becomes your own baby, it becomes your passion, it becomes your dream. You invest a lot on it. So now I won't be long, but I just want to say, before you start any business, kumntu omtsha omameleyo who is interested in starting maybe poultry or any business. Recently, I've posted on Facebook page yam ukuthi, if you want to start a business, you need to identify a need or a gap kwindawo ohlala kuyo. Not kude apho uhlala khona, but around yourself. Check a need or try to close a gap. Ne? So, for example, ndathi if kokwenu kukhona itapile ne, and ikhona igadi, utheni ungazilimi ezatapile? Obviously awuzuzifaka zinjalo, but uzazilinda zintshule, then uzifake egadini. And then check if awuzokhupha ii-bags of potatoes na from ezatapile zincinci uzithathe kokweni. That's how you start a business. You don't need a huge capital, but you start with what you have and what you can do. That's what I did, and that's what I motivate abantu ngayo. If you like to bake, why don't bake for others? For example, till kuba si busy, ekhaya siyazithanda isonka zombhako, chance yosenza. Uyayibona? So if singana abantu who can bake and then we buy from them, isonka zombhako, it's something that we can all do. Uqova, ubhake, utye uyayibona. So if you can do that for others, uzawugaina at least awuzulala ulambile, uzawulala utyile. Uyayibona ne? And then I also mentioned, this was a huge debate here on Google Facebook page. I'm trying to see it. If you have a skill of driving, and then kukhona imoto endala kokwenu, why don't you help others? Ube ngudriver wabo okanye ube i-driving school ye-community yakho apho uhlala khona. Nathi, before we started poultry, we had to stop, as I mentioned before earlier on, we were doing a driving school, but sayeka due to the COVID. So I said, if you can drive, ikhona imoto endala, help others. Kakho debate ethi, how can you start a driving school kodwa awunazongo ezampepha zifunekayo zase-driving school? Nathi, you can do that kwi-future yakho, ukuthi ube nazo ezampepha ze-driving school, zo-instructor. But for if ufuna ulala ungalambanga, if ufuna ulala wena nefamily yakho nityile, thatha imoto, take that car and assist umntu ofuna ufunda uqhuba. As a youth, we're supposed to learn how to drive. We need to know how to drive. So, yeah, you debate, but at the end of the day, if you can drive, ikhona imoto yoqhubisa abantu, imoto endala ehleli ngenzi into, help abantu babhatale wena, ubafundise, ubanike abantu i-skill soqhuba. Uyayibona? So, yanjalo ke. And then also what I want to emphasize on is, I mentioned it before, when you start a business, you don't focus on your profit. Instead, you focus on the business itself. If business yako needs to grow, so you need to focus ekukhuleni kwayo. If business ifana nomntana, when you give birth to umntana, you don't expect something in return immediately. You let the child grow. You need to see the child grow before you can say, nangu umntanam undinika imali engekafiki nakwa-matric kodwa sawufuna imali. So you need to give your businesses time to grow. You need to give it love. Zonke izinto ezidingekayo. You don't focus on being a millionaire immediately you start your business. But maybe in 10 years' time or even more than that, then you can become a billionaire. But as you start, i-investment yakho yonke, i-profit yakho yonke, uyisa kule business. Thina indlela sayithenga ngayo incubator, we had to grow i-business. Then i-profit yethu, including eyethu imali, ibe yiyo ethenga incubator. So awuvele ube awuvele ukhawuleze ube yi-millionaire usaqala i-business. Okay.
As you are wrapping up, Mama, is because of time.
Okay. Yes, I am wrapping up. Wrapping up.
Please,
yes.
Please.
Awubefuna nje ukuchaza kuloo nto bana as umuntu omtsha, when you start a business, you don't focus kakhulu kwimali. You focus on your child. You focus on your business. Yes, I think that's all I can say for now. Thank you.
Thanks, Mamuseti. Siyacela ke sose ube sosibulisela nakutata lo okuncedisayo ku-business yakho naye aqhubeke nisenza kakuhle. May I kindly remind the house that we encourage that we make use of e-chats so that if you've got a question for a speaker, since we've got a number of speakers, we can track your question and then direct it to your to a specific panelist. We to the panelists, kindly keep an eye to the chat, meeting chat, so that you can quickly respond if you can to those questions. To the panelists, what we actually expect, we want to appreciate the diversity of the entrepreneurial skills of young farmers. So if we can just, for the sake of time, stick to those diversity to the diversity of our businesses. So, Chikeka, are you there from Green Gardeners? Quickly, Sisi. The stage is yours.
Alright. Manisithi nqakanintsi ke bazali. Ndibulisa wonke umuntu ngokulingana kwenu. Andazi noba nisiyavana ngenxa yenetwork ngapha na.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Mna ndizaqala ndizichaze uba ndingubani waphi. Ndilapha nje ndifike njani. Mna ndinguPhumza, ndingujikeka ifani, ndisuka eNgqamakhwe. Ndineminyaka eyi-25. Ndibe nomdla ke kweli cala lolimo because ndiyinto endiye ndakhula ngayo phaa ekhaya. Khule kulinywa umbona kakhulu. But ke fani mna ndiye ndathatha icala le-poultry, le-piggery, le-veg. Le nto ndayiqala ngo-2019 yolima, ndilima apha eGcuwa. Now ke mandiqale kwi-challenge endiye ndadibana nazo before ndibe ngulo mntu ndinguye namhlanje apho ndiye ndaqale ndagqitha khona. Qale ndane-shortage yamanzi. From shortage yamanzi andafumana market. Ndiqale ngezipinatshi eziyi-3000 utyala. Ikhaphetshu ayalunga tu yona. Now ubone ke uhambe xa ubetheka ude ufunde nto. Ndiye ndamane ke mna ke ngobona imeko endikuyo ndimane ndiyonqonqoza but ndingazange ndafumana feedback up until now. So ndiye ndithi ke mna xa ndikhuthaza omnye umntu ofuna ukufana nam xa sebona eli zinga ndikulo. Today mna ndiyakwazi utyala 10,000 ikhaphetshu. Today mna ndinee-broilers 195. Ndineehagu, ndiyatofa, ndinalo msebenzi ke abanye abantu badla ngondihleka ke nalo msebenzi wo-10 endiye ndiwenze. So ke ngoku xa usokulaa challenge abanye abantu banezaa challenge uba umhlaba wathini. Mna ndiqale kumhlaba ongu-50 by 50. Ndawutyala wonke futhi. Ndaphinda ndafumana omnye ongu-30 by 30. But ndiye ndizixelela nto uba ndiyaya apho ndifuna uya khona. And ke ngoku xa usenza le nto yolima abanye abantu baza kuwe bengazange uzokukhuthaza, abanye abantu baza bezokukhuthaza. And ke ngoku nantsi enye i-challenge esesifeyisane nayo. Xa usendaweni wena mna ndize kuba because into ethile andiyazi. Yes, ndinalo ufifi le-agriculture because I do 1 year eKing TVET College i-agriculture. But xa sifika elaa xesha uba okay Mr. Mbane, ndenza umzekelo, Mr. Mbane ndicela undincede ndisayine le form ithi. uMr. Mbane uyakwazi undiphendula uba ndingena phi mna, ungathi umncinci kangaka ubuzikhoboza ngomhlaba. Ndiqonda mna about uzikhoboza ngomhlaba, it's about what I like. Ndiye ke ndanezo challenges, ndanantsi nokusokola because bendizenzela i-business plan. But ke ndade ndayi-approve, ndazenzela ke ndayigqiba, ndadibana nabantu abakwazi undinceda. Kwafika ke ixesha loba ngoku xa usiya kwezi project uthi ndicela nam nindincede ngento ethile, azikwazi uku-assist because uzofika wena ibe ngathi uzenza clever kuzo. And ke ngoku sinale challenge yoba kweli cala lethu asinazitrektha but le nto uyayifuna uyenza. Now ukukhuthaza ke kwakho ubantu abatsha ndizathethela nje based umntu omtsha. Mna ndithi ke mna ke qala kule ndawo ukuyo, uqale ngale nto unayo and focus on where you want to be. Yinto ke eyandinceda ke leyo uba namhlanje ndiyakwazi uba ndivuke ngo-4 ndiyovula amanzi, izipringla. Ndiyakwazi uba ngo-6 funeka ndihoyene nehagu. Ndiyakwazi uba ngo-7 funeka ndibe ndimonitharisha iinkukhu. Omnye umntu ke oye wakwazi undinceda, ndandingaqalanga ngeenkukhu eziyi-195, ndandiqale nge-40 yafa yonke. Ndaqonda uba okay, mandihambe ndiye kuMr Mbane. Mr Mbane, ndicela xa usenza itraining apha ebuchopho ndicela unditreyine nam. Hayi ke wanditreyina futhi ndava futhi ndanyathela kula manyathelo wayewathethile. Now ke ngokomnye umntu oye ndaqonda uba uyandikhuthaza mani into azenzayo kuleli cala le-poultry, uSisandi lo. WawuSisandi, ndabona into entle xa ndiye kwakhe. Ndaqonda uba nam le nto yinto entle, not ngendlela embi uba okay ingathi ndingamogqitha or else mna ndiza kwenza ngaphezu kwakhe. No, ndayithatha ndabona uba okay, this is life, i-farming. Ewe ke emntwini onentliziyo encinci omncinci othi hayi ndiyafuna ukwenza i-farming. Hello? Emntwini omncinci xa iqala ke le nto ye-farming, abanye abantu bayeza masikumathi ndicela undifundise u-ABC, umfundise u-ABC, amazi omgqibho. Athi hayi mani, le nto yohlakula hayi andizumelana nayo. Wathini? No, mntu omtsha, i-instrument of change. Yiloo nto sifunayo ngoku siliphondo leMpuma Koloni. And 2, abanye abantu abasisokolisayo ke njengoba ke kuye kuthiwe hayi nantsi ifom endaweni ethile, nantsi abantu abenza lo msebenzi wenzayo bayafana. Abanye abantu ke abamoshayo, andizubiza ke ii-departments, but xa sifika kwii-departments, even mna ndithi hayi ndive into ethile ilapha, abasisi nababhuti basebenza phaa, eyi niyasibetha kwindlela yothetha. So mna andizuba mde kakhulu, andingomntu uthanda uthetha, but ndingulaa mntu uneskill. And 2, ndingathi ke mna ke umntu oneskill omncinci ingasasebenzise ke siphuhle. And ke ngoku siphuhle nje, ungonqeni uthetha. Zange ndonqena ubuza mna ukubona uba xa ubuza uba yho ubani uzawundiphendula because senomthamo ongaka yena. Mna ndandibuza, mna ndifowunele uSindi, omnye usisi walapha eQhorha apha eGcuwa olima amaplasi ngapha eJoburg. Ndithi sisindi, ifetelayiza yekhaphetshu ndibona into ethile nento ethile. Ususe laa nto yokuba ngathi wena ukleva kunabanye abantu, because yiyona nto ke mntu omtsha leyo, into embethayo, uzibona ukleva wena kunabanye abantu. Bube ungazi, ubuza kuyanceda. Kuba kaloku ngoku sesinalaa nto ithi kuhle ukubona abazalwane bemxhelomnye. Xa sibona ngoku iphondo, mandibuye ndiye kulaa nto ndithi okay, xa ungafuni ulima yintoni into ozoyenza? Uzofunda uthini? But ekupheleni sinale ngxaki sinayo uba uthi umncinci ungafuni usebenza, ucinga fanuba okay oobani besendaweni ethile bahambe lula. Hayi, kuyasetyenzwa apha, kuyasetyenzwa. Umntu exhenise ezombelela esiya phambili. Ndicinga uba qhibile. Enkosi.
Okay. Enkosi kakhulu sisi wami. Yes. You have shared something that I'm sure of that it triggers something to people like me. Mr. Mbane, the work that you are doing, mentorship for these farmers, really a good job, sir. We are going to move to Uzutumani. Are you there? Okay, yeah, over to you, Sisandi.
Engusisandi.
Okay, Sisandi, over to you.
Molweni mafama. Ndiyabulisa igama ke ngusisandi. Ndingusisandi nyani ke. I am not youth. I'm a mother and a woman in agriculture. I'm trying to position the device yam wena. Imekahle, but ingathi I'm failing now. Now ufumana lo picture ka over 40 ke kuthiwa sifota kanje over 40 siveze ezindawo asivele sonke. My name is Sandi. I'm Mrs. Sitimane. And I'm in poultry farming. And background, I don't know if it's me. Any feedback that I'm getting, but it's I don't know. Okay. And I am over 40. And so I'm a 40-year-old farmer. I am based in Butterworth, Bulale approximation. Poultry farmers. We chose this because we felt that farming needs to being hip and happening. That when people farmer poultry farmers, we had to come up with a name that will be attractive. Then we said, look here. So it had to catch to that. At least there must be something interesting about farming. We are here to create a stay the farming industry. Since I'm a woman, but the co-op consists of both mama and then there is youth. So we data, and then we have abandabango mama babini, and then we with abandabai too. It is a family co-op. The reason that we chose to be a family co-op is because we have seen a problem that with regards to is a that you end up not like-minded. We end up with arguments and a lot of co-ops have failed. That is fundile was state-of-the-art equipment, but of months they fail regardless because Amanda are not like-minded. They are not pulling in the same direction. They are not doing this a common goal. They thought that it will be something easy because of money, equipment, funding, and then but it didn't like that. So e-corps means they ended up failing. So we decided at first it was just, but with the long run we decided, okay, let's put in the family, and we also took one of them, the Stalin business, which is the other young person. We started with that person in business, and we decided them part of the family. So that's who we are as Ujongala poultry farmers. And the other question that I because I wrote myself questions so that I answer so that what do we want to be? What was the purpose of to do this on a formal business? We started poultry farming about 2012, 2013, and the purpose just having because I was living in a small stall. So we would do it on and off. We would have broiler 100 zisophela sizithengise, and then sizithengise paying, and then we come back and then we sit and do nothing, and then go, because I'm also an events coordinator, so I do events, I do weddings and stuff. So I was more on the event side of things, and then not focusing on poultry. But with time, we kept on but when 2020 came, when all lockdown came and all things closed down, we decided, you know what, we sat and we decided, if there's anything that will never be locked down, regardless of what is happening. No, kungathi pandemic where people have to stay indoors, but food production will always be there, and poultry is part of that. So what happened is that I spoke with friends of ours that we partnered in the business. So we were talking, and they were like, "Hey, in this lockdown, what are you doing?" And we said, if there's anything that we knew that we loved, but is poultry. So we would like to go back to poultry farming. So we decided, they helped us with financing, and we went back to poultry farming. But in my search for day-old chicks and everything else, I realized akukho day-old, akukho maqanda, akukho ntoni, and izinto zinqabile. I started ordering in March, and I only got a batch go June. And when I got my batch go June, but during that time, and somebody said, hey, if you're struggling, how could join a group? Only group Yama Farmer as Eastern Cape, join a group. And I joined the group, and I asked one question. I asked one question on the group, and I was referred to WhatsApp groups, and I realized there's not one, there's not two, there's not three, there's 4 or 5 groups as an association. And then I fell in love with the association, because that's where I got most of the information, and I found out that there's also going to be training. And I told myself that I'm not going to take for granted that I've done for and I've been successful, but I'm going and get knowledge, because I was doing it out of love. I'm doing it out of information that I had. I did not have information. It was just that, and I was passionate about it. So I decided, but I'm going to do it right. Let me go and get information. So I went to Mr. Mhlobo in one of as classes as Mr. Man that he does, and get like during lockdown, but we managed to get a venue. There was a venue in East London, and then that's where he opened my eyes to the things that we thought we were doing right, and we decided to do them. And then we changed quite a lot in the way SS, and then luckily that was before Istoka Samson. And then my search for amantshonto nentoni resulted in me buying an incubator, because I felt like amantshonto awekho, but the scarcity. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I decided that I'm going to create my own day-old chicks, because I felt waiting for other people to produce, in order for me to have my own day-old chicks is going to be a problem. So I decided to start an incubator, and then we started incubating as well. So part of that, let's play a role, because there's a gap in there's a gap in makandeni, there's a gap in broilers at that time. So we decided, no, you know what, in the play a role in being producers broiler. Started form part of chain, because so we noticed that so order job you only hedge 30%, and then we realized no, let's try sure that this thing Eastern Cape at least but we're not there yet with position of having a broiler in a parent stock a broiler. And then after, when I was searching for a makanda, I came across a Bushveld a lab Eastern Cape, and I fell in love with the Bushveld as well. And that man said about what is a Bushveld in Kukenjani, how can you peel and I realized, you know what, this is the chicken we need. in the Cape, because you know ujonge abantu bethu nendlela abahlala abaphila ngayo into yobana they need inkukhu engaziba complicated to give them back isidima sokufuya. So those were my two objectives, that I want to be a chicken production, and also I want to give back sustainable. It's just like that has a different purpose. So I would like to aim for to introduce this chicken a bushveld and indigenous to restore the dignity yamakhaya ethu farming. Trying to cut short, we offer fertile eggs bushveld for people that have eaters. We also have organic eggs, because when stop being fertile, 7 to 10 days, they become organic. Free range. So you have organic eggs. You have organic eggs, then fertile eggs for those who want to incubate. Also, you offer broilers clearly, and we also slaughter them. And then we sell amanchonjo, our bushveld. We sell bushveld chicks from a day old up to 6 weeks. Another thing that I want abantu to catch, why did I choose just two breeds to deal with? I wanted to specialize. There is important in specializing, that you must know why I chose bushveld. That I wanted to be able to say to you, bushveld, but having so many breeds who end up end up having in the mix that you can't even explain to your clients about it. So specialize in knowledge in that specific, in that thing that you've focus the energy on that specific breed, so that we fully breeds explain. I think that is one other problem with our farmers, is that they want everything in one farm, but it's not possible. It is specialized, whereas but you choose 1 or 2 or 3 breeds that you are going to do. And they our major challenge production of broiler is that we are able to do it only for now. Equipment that is going to help us in slaughtering standards are there in the industry. So that's the only challenge. Otherwise, you're in a corner, but you need to meet certain standards to be able to cater to the market. But there are a few schools that we are able to cater to. So on a broilers, approach scholars saselalini. Neatly, clean packaging, then serve them. If you agree, they will take into yako. If it's neatly, please, presentation is everything. How has my member Eastern Cape Poultry Farmers helped me? If Eastern Cape Poultry Farmers, the information, there's information overload, there's exposure, you get schooling on a daily basis, because abantu baza information on from all sorts of directions, and then who is forever seeking information and seeking help in partnering with departments, partnering with institutions, sure that members Eastern Cape Poultry Farmers that they benefit from being a member. So I benefited a lot. I've been Mr. Mbane recently. I have a farm. They deserted it in the 80s by Libala because they care about. But Eastern Cape farmers everything that will benefit I'm doing. So it really ignited a love and action up within me into my part of the association, because I've been farming on my own, but now that I'm doing it with people in the challenges that we share and the help we share. But a message and now for ama farmer and asakhulayo, that and all the speakers spoken earlier about emphasize the is start you have. You don't have to have state of the art anything. You don't have yonke okucicibhethu ukuthi umzekelo at some point mina bensawula for iinkukhu zam to heat them up okanye ihitha yeparafini. You find izinto that are practical for you to use in your current situation for you to get started. Don't wait for ubana kude kube kwi-funding. Don't wait. Even aba bantu xa beza first come bazojonga uba wenza ntoni, at least have 50 chicks, have some to start on, so that have blood in your hands. I loved that. And we need to understand that nothing is ever built. So don't expect riches. Don't expect too quickly. Now I started playing okay, I can making an income. But I had been doing it for fun previously, but now I'm doing it on a basis. So any point is business seriously. Take yourself seriously. Take your business seriously. No one else will take you seriously if you don't take what you do seriously. And one other point, pride, is that abantu abatsha don't want to touch. Unfortunately, when it comes, you have to be hands-on. Get down and bendishintsha isodasti izolo ndabe kuyizona wakusozolo elinye Mr. Mhlobe mna ke Mr. Manenza phinde ukufowunele nditshintsha isodasti ngoku. I have to ndiclean so that amantshontsho wam azawuhetsha abe la akhoyo angahlali endaweni emdaka. So not being hands-on is not an option. You can't sit, you can't remote control farming. That's the unfortunate part if you're behind the desk and that people, you have to touch, you have to see amantshontsho akho kufuneka ulibone uba elder aliboni kakuhle elilitheni. So you have to be hands uzokwazi naxa sewuqalisa uqesha ke ngoku ukwazi umuntu omqeshile into yobana no ndiyawazi lo msebenzi, I've done it before, I'm not giving you something I don't know. Angakuxeleli izinto ezingezi zathi hayi iinkukhu zivele zafa kanti umbakazi ucango iinkukhu zafa wazothusa ahambe uzixhela, because that's what employees do. So you need to know into yobana iinkukhu zam xa bezingakhange zigule kubekho signs of ukugula, there must have been something eyenzekileyo, ayivelanga yafa le nkukhu, something happened. So you need to be down there, get down and dirty to be able to say that mna ndiyawazi lo msebenzi before unikezele komnye umuntu awuthatha wenze. As lo mntu ndinguye ke to quote a scripture before as I close the presentation now, I'd like to quote a scripture. Ezekiel 1 verse 28. It goes as follows. Because we are dealing with creation mos. I mean, you are ngendalo in its natural form. Genesis 1 verse 28. Be fruitful, multiply, do the earth and have dominion. This has got nothing to do with uzala, ne? Ukamanande has got nothing to do with the giving birth, but it means yanda, multiply, it is subdue the earth. So umhlaba lo usebenze mawureporte kumhlaba, dominion, dominate. If imfuyo yazi imfuyo yakho, not le nto xa imfuyo yakwaziwa ebantwini abamhlophe into yobana yenziwa njani inkomo. You need to know that was our heritage as Black people. Dominion over umhlaba. Sasisitya umhlaba, sasisitya crop, sasisitya veggies, sasisitya inkomo. Not this thing of abantu abaphila out. That was not us. But that culture has been used to us. That's peeling handouts. That's not our heritage. Heritage is being fruitful and multiply, and having dominion. There is land, especially in the Eastern Cape, there is land. Amasimalele ubangahamba from usuke monti yotshona ngapha konke abankulu amasimi alele, but sitakukho mhlaba, but amasimi ako wethu alele. So let's have dominion, let's be fruitful, let's multiply. Sibaninzi for into yobana kubekho amasimi alele, bekufanele uba ungona ngoku amasimi avukileyo. Enkosi mhlali ngaphambili.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Sandy. Ngiyabona uba usonyuka nonyuka ngoku. Yeah, thanks. There's been a mistake, Mr. Pomela. I hope I was better. I don't know, Sister Sandy, why even at Sibela, but it happened. But Mr. Pomela, we humbly apologize for that. Now we wish to give you the platform. Mr. Bomela from Mingabayaki Trading. Mr. Bomela, are you with us?
Yes. Hello.
Okay. Yes.
My name
if
is
you are ready.
Xolisa Bomela. My name is Xolisa Bomela. I am the son of Xolisa Bomela that was mentioned earlier on by Mr. Ayanda. I will be talking about sheep. I've been doing this practically for my whole life, seeing as my father knows and has been doing this for a very long time. So I will be talking about what it is to be a sheep farmer, the challenges you may face as a sheep farmer, and the opportunities that sheep farming has and that may come as new ideas to some people. So sheep farming, it is a way of life, a way that you can help in your community to provide meat, to also provide knowledge about what it is that we have on our hands. Because uba uthetha ngegusha, ininzi opportunities ezikhoyo kwigusha. And manje zininzi nje opportunities esinazo kwigusha. We undervalue i-worth yegusha. Sicinga igusha into nje yokuba uyixhele xa unomgidi okanye xa unomcimbi. Whereas if uyithatha seriously, is a lot more that you can do. Because kwigusha there is that will give you qualities of uboya, and that will give you types of inyama apha egusheni. So mna ke ngoku I am dealing with merino sheep. Merino sheep iigusha zoboya. Ziigusha zoboya. Iigusha zoboya ke zona they bring in a lot of money kwicala loboya. You sell uboya bazo in order to make the money you need to fund
Mr. Bomela? Mr. Bomela? Mr. Bomela? Mr. Bomela? Mr. Bomela?
Yes.
Yes, i-network yakho buti imane isiqhawula, and also siyacelwa that switch on your video amafama afuna ukubona so that singazudlulana nje endleleni ngenye imini. Can you do that for us, just for connection?
Okay.
Yes, thank
okay.
you. Yeah, you can continue. Sorry.
All right. As I was saying, I am very much interested in merino farming as Gushen. So bensacho ke uba as merino farmer, you deal with uboya ikakhulu. And apha eboyeni there are a lot of problems that we face, challenges such as diseases, ne-stock theft, ne-theft yoboya njalo njalo. So bensathi phaa kwi-diseases, sine-diseases ezifana nebhula ne-red lice. Ezi diseases ke they attack uboya and they eat away at uboya, that i-production yakho yoboya ungaphela at the end of the day ungayiboni uba wenza ntoni wena. What are you trying to do ngobuboya bakho? But thankfully, Talita aba nezinye corporations, they help us a lot with the medication abanayo to combat as diseases. In order for you as a farmer, a sheep farmer specifically, to see where you are going with uboya, you need a lot of maintenance. You need to ujonga iigusha zakho uba zinjani. You need to check for i-symptoms zoba le gusha ingaba uboya bayo butyiwa yintoni, ingaba kwenzeka ntoni kuzo. So kufuneka nyhani ube hands on njengoba ebesitsho usisandi, but you have to know what you're doing in order for you to then give it off to someone else. So as I mentioned before, there are also opportunities up. These opportunities link up with any problem scenario tina apha as sheep farmers, because and there are ways that could be implemented to solve the problem. If usifuna usolva le ngxaki yoboya obubiwayo, sidinga ukudibana ne-computer science in developing means zokutracka uboya bethu neegusha zethu, because there's nothing more painful than uhlale unyaka wonke and then you show only for the next thing. So these opportunities bring us to the point that we need young people that are going to take initiative in the computer science department to figure out a way to curb the stock theft, the uboya obubiwayo, into ezinjalo. Now, there is a lot more into ongayenza ezigusheni, not just uboya. And there are figures that I could quote to you all day that tell you that there is a lot of money ezigusheni. It is just that you need to sit down and plan out what you want to do with your life, what you want to do with lendunayo apha phambi kwakho. Because it is very important for ungavuki ngomso uthi hayi ndizawufama igusha and then expect in 2 years' time that you're going to be rolling in money. Njengoba abantu kudala beyitsho le nto apha uba awuvele uvuke ngomso sowunemali. You have to first work toward your goals. Because now I have a goal that I've set for myself is to reach 1,000 sheep. Ezigusha zami ke zo-1,000 kofuneka zinto zizale zo-1,000. And then I have rams zami ezi-100 which will work together with these ewes so that they can produce amatakane azawa-1,000. But now you can't just do that uzawufaka ii-rams ezigusheni and then expect uba iigusha zakho zizavele zizawuzala zonke ngexesha elinye. That is not very practical, and that will also require a lot of hands. So if you want to minimize i-risks ongadibana nazo like ukufelwa ngamatakane, so cut your sheep in half. Uthathe 500 izale ngexesha, and then you look after that 500. It will be much easier to look after i-500 igusha than to look after 1,000 yonke at the same time. Also, this will then allow you to be able to assess the damages that may happen kwezi gusha zizeleyo. Also allowing you to uba ukwazi ukhetha igusha ozawuzithengisa uzifake kwi-feedlot and such. But this also brings another problem, because you're going to need a lot of land for uba uzifame izigusha. And thina bantu balapha ezilalini kuba ndilapha eNgqamakwe at the moment, we do not have the resources because we have to share our land with other sheep farmers who are also in their own. So upper land is very much needed to curb the struggles of ubane gusha ezininzi. Ngoku ke this is not an impediment to youth, because xa uyi-youth awuzuvele uqale ube nezigusha zininzi ndithetha ngazo ngoku. Kofuneka uqale kancinci, uqale with maybe 10 igusha, and then you move forward from there, and then you build on. And this is going to take time, and that is why I've dedicated my time ngoku to learning about igusha, and to see uba igusha zam ziyaphi na ngoku, so that izawuhamba ihambe le nto ibe yi-second nature, ube into oyenza subconsciously whilst you are trying to grow your business of igusha. To wrap up, mna benzawuthi I advise i-faculty of iForte to indlela zopromota i-agriculture kwi-youth. Not just ubafundisa nge-types of worms and all of that, but to promote it as an opportunity, as a career path that you can take long term as umntu, yabo. And also for uba kujongwe le nto ye-computer science, how it can help us to curb the problems of igusha. Thank you very much.
Hello. Thanks. Mr. Bomel?
Yebo.
Oh yeah, okay. Inkosi kakhulu. So I'm sure the University of Fort would gladly consider the advice oyinike yona. And also we thank you for your time. We are going to move quickly. Our next and probably the last panelist, Mr. Mboyi. Mr. Mboyi, are you still with us?
Yes, ndikhona program director. Ndizawulindela i-presentation to be flighted on your side by Mr. Mbaipeli.
Okay. I'm sure he's going to display soon as possible. But the stage is yours, Boy.
John, I love you. John.
Thank you.
Which means I was schooling. Which means I was schooling.
Come to mute, Ken. Thank you, Mr. Bromella. Sorry. Yes, thank you, Mr. Bromella, for your presentation and also other previous panelists. We will present Indoya business plan, which why it is so important and what is it that we need to have. I don't know whether my video is Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm the chairperson of the Eastern Cape Farmers Poultry Association. We are doing this program in partnership with Utalita, which is a pharmaceutical company. Summer farmer way too. We are definitely, we have seen them. We are also partnering with the University of Fort. Now, Indonesia, I don't think that's the presentation, Mr. Mbaipeli. Not this one. Check your presentation. That one has got its UFH web.
Okay, we are going to work on that, Mr. Mboyi. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, humbly apologies to the House. We are going to work on the issue quickly. Kindly bear with us, guys. I know we are out of time, but we'll try to go quickly.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the presentation from the previous speakers, coming from diverse commodity groups, poultry, vegetable, and livestock, sheep. Mr. Pomela, and all of them are young farmers. Their stories are so inspiring. I'm really motivated, and also to see that through this partnership we are making a huge strides and also a positive impact in terms of roping in young people so that they can actually participate in the farming sector. And this is the start. Definitely after this webinar, we will be running. Thank you. Yes, Mhlakazi. Can I fly it on my side? Yeah, okay. Let me flight it on my side. Although I will have some challenges, but I'll do my level best to make sure that it.
But you want that worksheet? Because you send me that.
The one that has got the worksheet, but can everyone see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. I'm not gonna put it on PowerPoint presentation mode because my computer on my side will be a little bit slower. But as long as everyone can actually see our presentation, I'm happy. Thank you very much. We will present just on the draft business plan as to what is it that is actually very important. Remember, when we talk about the business plan, we are saying that is the roadmap for a farmer or for any business person. You need to develop or have this kind of a document that you will review perhaps on a monthly or on a weekly basis or on a daily basis. It varies from a farmer to a farmer or from a business person to a business person. Mine, I actually review it on a weekly basis. Now, lo phambi kwenu ngumhlobo Mbane, the chairperson of the Eastern Cape Farmers Poultry Association. Going on to the next slide, I will be presenting the draft business plan. What should be included in the business plan? It's very important that you have farmer business details. That is your business name or a trading name. The address, which is very important because people that will be doing business with you, definitely they would like to see or know where you stay. So it's very important that you have a physical address as well as the postal address, business contact numbers, cell phone, as well as the landline. Recently, most of the business, especially when it comes to farming, they don't have the landline. They are using cell phones. So that is very important. The second one, it's the contents of the business plan. What is it that we need to see that has to reflect in your business plan? It's very important that you do have our business details. You also have an executive summary, just to give a direction or just a summary as to what is this business all about. General company description. Are you welding? Are you in poultry? Are you in mixed farming? Are you selling veggies? So on and so on. The opportunities that exist in this industry, the industry overview, as well as the market, the strategies. What strategies are you going to implement when you are, working on your business? Team, the management team, as well as the organization. Most of the funders, they would like to see that as to who are you working with? What kind of an experience do you have? What organogram that you will actually follow when it comes to your business. The other thing, that is the marketing plan. Do you have the marketing plan? What strategy? How are you going to market your business? How are you going to market your products? Financial plan. How are you going to fundraise? How are you going to spend your money? You need all those kind of aspects. That is your budget, your projection when it comes to income and other business financial statement, funding requirements. What is it that you need funding for? That is quite very important. The appendix, you will find that it's attachments, all the documentation, your IT copies, your CVs, your every document that like your CK document, your registration document, your SARS, your CSD, Central Supplier Database, forms, your BE, that is, yes, your BE certificate, all those kind of documentation that is actually needed. Even your mentor, it will be wise that you also get a CV or of someone that's going to provide the mentorship role as you will be embarking on this journey of entrepreneurship or implementing your own business plan. Business concept, executive summary. We expect that when we talk about the business summary, it might be even 2 pages or less. You just summarize the most important aspects of your business, your concept, the nature of activities that you are going to do when you are working on your business, the financial features, current turnover if you are already in business, projected turnover, let's say in the next 2 to 5 years, how much money, how much turnover are you going to generate in your business. That is very important when it comes to the executive summary. The age of your business, is it a startup or is it a newly formed company, less than 2 years, or are you way above 5 years? That is very important when we are talking about the executive summary. You just give them an indication or a summary as I've actually indicated. General company description, legal, is it a legal entity? What is the registration number? The ownership, the name of the directors in your company, their age, their gender. It's something that is always considered by so many funders, especially when you're approaching government departments. They would like to know the gender. Do you have women in your business? Do you have young people? And what is their ownership in terms of percentage? Is it a youth-owned company that has got 50% shareholder from shareholder ownership by young people, or is it owned by black, 100% black-owned company? What would be the financial contribution from your side as entrepreneurs or as directors? That is also very important. What is it that you are going to contribute in your business? We will find that we've got businesses like cooperatives whereby people will be saying, I will be contributing only 50 Rand. It's something that is always considered by funders. Why do you expect a funder to contribute 500,000 or 20,000 whilst you are a director? You see value in this kind of business, but you are saying, when as a person or as a director, you are only going to contribute 50 Rand. It sends another negative sort of perception. Do you really value what you want to start? The high number of the directors, they want to see that how old are these people? Are they really young? If you are saying these are young people. Vision and the mission statement, that is very important. Vision of the business. What is it that you want to see? Where do you see yourself, or where do you see your business in the next 5 years? The mission statement, what is it that you are going to do currently within this period of 5 years so that you realize the vision that you have stated in your vision statement. So that is very, very important. SWOT analysis, that is strength, weakness, as well as opportunities and threats. What do you see as in the SWOT analysis? What is it that you see? You have to mention those strengths internally within your business. You've got an office, you've got a strong staff, do you have vehicles, do you have people that have got an experience? Those are the strengths within the company. The weaknesses, what is it that you are actually lacking within the business before you actually go outside and look for opportunities? Because you need to work, do your homework inside your businesses too. If you've got some staff, people that are not actually well equipped or that did not have the necessary skills or training, what are you going to do so that you empower them and also work on those weaknesses that you have within the company? Threats, what competition do you have? What is the other thing that might be threat into your business? Boycotts, load shedding, all those kind of things that you see them as a threat in your business so that you come up with solutions. If you're saying, no, my threat might be load shedding, what are you going to do in order to buy or have something that will serve as an alternative when load shedding actually comes, and then you've got a generator on the other hand, so that you work on that. So that's what is important when you talk about SWOT analysis. Industry description, what is it? As the previous speakers have said, they've described the sector and the industry that they operate within. So it is very important that you as a farmer or as an entrepreneur or as a business person, you understand your industry very well. If you don't go to or take the advice that we were given by our guest speaker, that as a business person, you must read. You must be a bookworm. You have to read. So if you don't understand your industry, that gives you a homework. You know, when I go out there, look for books, buy books, download books in the internet, so that you get an understanding as to how deep, what challenges or what aspects or what experience you need in order to operate in that industry. Opportunities, industry as well as the market. When we talk about opportunity analysis, where is the gap in the market? You will have to identify the gap in the market. What has given rise to this gap? What is it that we have seen? Most people have actually identified the gap during the lockdown. We have less people that are operating in the farming sector. Hence, we have seen a growth in people that are selling eggs, people that are selling day-old chicks. That really happened during that time of lockdown. So people have identified the gap. How is the gap? How was this gap identified? As I've actually indicated, that people have seen there's a shortage of amaqanda nezgezinye. How will the gap be filled in? You have to convince the person that you are presenting your business plan to, ukuthi, these are the questions that you need to answer. These are the questions that you need to cover. Market analysis. What is the total size of the market? How big is your market? How fast is the market growing? Where percentage share of the market will you have? What percentage of the market share as a person, as your business, you will have? You need to set those targets. And this is very important if you think you will be a major factor in the market. So it's very important that when you do your market analysis, you answer all those questions. What are the major trends in the market? People now are selling on Facebook, trends in consumer preferences. People would like to place orders online. People would like to not to go out to the retail stores. They want to use apps in actually, buying these products and other product development. So it's quite very important, and you are a business person, to follow those market analysis as well as opportunity analysis. The strategy, the focus of the business, broad mass market or specific niche. Are you just going to be selling to a broad mass market, or are you going to focus on a niche market, as Uzi Sandi has indicated during her presentation? She has actually identified that there's a niche market when it comes to the bushveld and the organic eggs. So she's actually focusing on that. So it's very important that as a farmer, you identify that. Are you just going to be focusing on broad mass market, or are you going to focus on a specific niche market? How the business will succeed in the market? How do you see yourself succeeding? How do you see yourself, performing very well when it comes to running your business, your operations? How will you create a unique, valuable position involving a different set of activities? How are you going to work around that so that your people, your clients or your target market actually recognize you? What is unique about the business? What is it that you are going to do differently? How is the offering different from that of your competitors? Remember, I've said other people are actually now saying that. Other people are now actually saying that I will be having an app. I will develop an app. I will be doing door-to-door deliveries. I will create a WhatsApp group whereby I will be marketing my products. I will be selling my product. So you need to see how are you going to offer differently? Your offering, what is it that is going to be different compared to other people? The team and the management of your organization, we've said before, CVs of your founders, it is very important. CV of the management committee or management team, that is very important. Number of employees, that is very, very important. You cannot be saying, that one talks to that market share. You cannot be saying will be targeting 50 or 75% of the market share, whilst you are saying Uguti, the only person that is going to be running this business without involving their employees. So the funder would like to see that you are setting a target of 75% of the market share. How many people do you have? Most of the funders will invite you immediately after you submitted your business plan or business proposal. Say, come, let's have a meeting. Let's have a discussion. You are saying you are going to target 75%, but when we look at the numbers of your employees, we can see that, yes, it is possible to realize that, but with the number of employees that we have, you need to consider that. So it's very important that when you are submitting a business plan, you are honest. What you are saying, you should be honest so that there's that two-way of communication and feedback from the funder so that you don't set up yourself for a failure. Other people will always try and make their business plans or proposal very fancy and come up with stories that you can see, Guti, they are not achievable, they are not realizable. So it's very important that as a farmer or a business person, you become very honest. A marketing plan, the product or the service that you'll be offering to your client, what it is, why it is valuable to your customers. Why do you see value? Other people, they just sell a product, but not make means in terms of getting a feedback. You're not going to offer a perfect product to your clients or to your clientele, but you need to make sure that you get a feedback so that you improve your product. We have people that are stuck on ideas. They keep on, thinking about their ideas for years and years. As a business person or as an entrepreneur, immediately when you've got an idea, you have to test it in the market, get a feedback, and then you will actually improve that product. It's not going to be perfect on the word go. The forecast and the detailed description of the target market, you have to identify and understand your target market. You cannot be a solution to everyone. That's the other thing that we need to understand as business people. You cannot be a solution to everyone. You need to identify your target market and design a product or a service that is going to suit that market. The positioning of the product or a service, how it should be perceived by your customers, it's very important. You need to create a positive perception about your product or your service as a business person. Your pricing strategy with specific price points at which the product or service will be sold. Other people, when they introduce their product in the market, you'll find that they charge or they put a price tag that is very expensive, because most let me just make an example. You'll find that the organic products are very, very expensive. Immediately when you enter into that space, you say you're going to come up with a cheaper price. When it comes to that niche market, you're going to have a challenge, because it will actually shows that you don't have an understanding of your market, because people that want the organic sort of products are those people you'll find ukuthi bapha phezulu ngabantu abahlala kwindawo ezithile suburbs ezithile. So into that they will be buying from you, they will attach the price. So if your price with that kind of a product is very cheaper, people will just not buy it or not buy from you, because they see ukuthi they will have some kind of a doubt. So that is actually very important, ukuthi when you create that kind of a perception about your product, the sales and distribution channels that will be used to get the product or service to the customers, that is very important. You have to come up with a channel. Which distribution channel are you going to use? Is it going to be accessible to a clientele yakho? Is it going to be really easy for you to reach out rather than have a long chain of each channel of distribution before your product reaches your consumers. Now we've got e-flights, we've got e-courier companies, we've got many people that are actually playing a role in that space. So you'll have to identify a channel that you're going to use so that your products get to e-clients very quickly and very easy. Promotion strategy, including public relation activities, specific promotion, advertising, or intended viral marketing activities. We've got on Facebook now, we've got WhatsApp groups. We are no longer using those traditional promotion strategies. Things have now changed. So as a company, you need to make sure in the manner you identify your promotion strategy that you are going to use, something that is going to be effective and cost effective for your company. Financial plan, the working capital, how much money are you going to need as a business person? Startup cost requirement, it's quite very important. 12 months profit, loss or projection month by month, and the 3-year profit, loss projection and quarter by quarter. Pro forma financials, if not available. So that is very important as a farmer or as a business person, that you do have those projections, and so that you plan your things according to 12-month cash flow projection. 3, those are the things that we normally just ignore as young people who just jump to start a business. But it is very important that you do have those financial plans, the break-even calculation, projected balance sheet, asset register, gross profit calculation. That is very important as a business person, that you work on those. So when you submit them to your funder, they make sense. You don't come up with things that are not achievable. Moving right along, funding requirements. The reasons for why do you need funding? What is it? Ownership, your contribution. What are you going to contribute as a person? Other people, they always say it's an in-kind at some point, in-kind contribution. What is it that you're going to provide? You can even show it to your funders that I've got a laptop. That's my contribution to my business. I've got a vehicle, and this is the market value of my vehicle, and it's going to be adding value. It will make things for me to make deliveries. I've got a trailer that I'll load my chickens, my eggs. Those are the contribution that we are making in the business. I've got a business management qualification. I've got a degree, and I've got an experience, 2-year experience. So the skills and the experience that I will have, I can say, if I was going to hire a manager, that manager was going to pay him 12,000 a month. But now as an entrepreneur, this is the expertise or the value, a financial value that I'll be contributing. You quantify you cost that, so that you add it as an in-kind contribution to your business, so that the funder will see that you are also contributing to your business. Money is owed to creditors. It's very important. Surety, suretyship agreements, asset financing breakdown, those are quite very important, and they should actually reflect in your business. Thank you very much, Program Director. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Boy. Thanks a lot. We humbly encourage the attendees to go and download the form, because now we are moving to an interactive session that will require us to use that form that has been uploaded there. It is uploaded via a link. So you just quickly go to the link, click there to download the form. We are going to upload the form, and Mr. Mhlobo will take us through the form on what is expected from us, because we are going to go for an interactive session whereby we are going to discuss in groups, give feedback and everything. So that is a session that we must pay attention to, and it is requested from all of us to take it, to give it the serious attention we can. That is the form. After you have downloaded it, that is the form that is going to appear after you have downloaded it. For now, Mr. Mbane, can you take us through the worksheet?
Thank you very much, Program Director. That is the worksheet, colleagues, that we will be answering some of those questions in our breakaway groups. We will discuss them amongst ourselves. We have to complete this worksheet. Completing this worksheet can also offer great direction for which type of a business you would like, you will be best suited to start. In order to accurately align your personal and business goals, answer the following questions honestly, realistically as possible. So it's very important that we are very honest when we answer all these questions. And I understand in a group we might have some different ideas on what kind of business we will actually discuss. I think we have to agree that you come up with only one business idea that you will be focusing on in that breakaway group. The most important reasons for being in business for yourself. What is it? Why do you think it will be very important for you to participate in a business? What I like best about being in a business? Those are the questions that we'll be asking. What is it that you like? Within 5 years, I would like my business to be at a certain level or at a certain stage. So that is very important. When I look back over the past 5 years on my career, 5 years of my career, I feel you will just give us a reflection. If you are in a business or even if you are in a business, how do you feel? What reflection you can actually share with us? My financial condition as of today